Hey guys, sorry it's taking so long to upload lately. I'm sharing a computer with my wife, and you can take a guess at who uses it more. Anyway, let's hurry and get this over with before she finds out I put this line in a video. Hey everyone, and welcome back. So we've all heard stories about families being torn apart by right-wing opinions, usually similar to the one from Ashton Birdie where she was treated like shit and basically shunned from her family for following InfoWars. Well, NowThis has a video talking about why the right-wing ideology tears those families apart, so let's see if we can get some understanding into the mindset of those leftists who shun right-leaning conservative family members and friends. Also, let's have a quick laugh at the fact that I had a pro-Trump ad play before this video when I first watched it.
Right-wing media tore my family apart, and my father's story explains how.
Jen Senko says her dad was brainwashed by right-wing media. Yeah, she literally just said that. Weren't you listening, NowThis editor person?
When I was growing up, my parents were very open-minded. They were like hippies before hippies happened.
Well, then they should have gotten a patent on hippie-ness, hippie-dumb. Whatever it is, it would have at least paid for their retirement.
They always stuck up for people if they were made fun of for being different.
Aw, well that's no fun.
My father, who passed away in 2016, was a great example for us in treating people equally. One indelible memory I have was a day trip to a New York museum. It was important to him that we had culture.
Well, what was wrong with the hippie culture he invented?
We lived in New Jersey, so New York was a short bus ride. We were coming out of Port Authority and ran into a black homeless man right outside the terminal. He asked my dad for some spare change. I was scared because I'd never seen a homeless man before.
Nah, it was internalized racism, don't lie.
My dad stopped, though, called him sir, and gave him some spare change. That taught me to respect everyone.
Though, based on the context of this video, I'm taking that to mean that you later developed the idea that everyone didn't include right-wingers.
After high school, I went to Pratt Institute. My father, who worked as an electronics engineer for the government, retired from that and got a part-time job with a long commute.
What the hell did your college have to do with any of that?
He started listening to talk radio. Talk radio then was Bob Grant.
So he was the only talk radio? There weren't other talk radio hosts he could have listened to?
The openly racist and sexist, bombastic radio host. He was called the father of conservative talk radio. He would refer to black people as savages and once called Martin Luther King a slimeball.
So due to the history of NowThis claiming people are racist with no proof to back it up, or because they took clips out of context deliberately, I did look around for some proof of this, but I wasn't able to find any audio clips to back it up. So I'll stick a pin in her statement for now. But let's keep looking and see how she turns this into brainwashing.
Very slowly, my dad began to change. He became more irritable and more judgmental of others.
And I'm sure that was 100% the fault of the right-wing media he was listening to, not your dad just being a jackass in his old age.
About a year later, my dad fully retired, and then he found and fell in love with Rush Limbaugh.
And then divorced your mom to marry him. The end.
Limbaugh had learned a lot of tricks of the trade from Bob Grant. He appealed to the older white guy who perhaps felt shoved aside as times were changing.
Well, that tends to happen when you shove a good percentage of the population to the side during a societal change rather than working them into that change.
Soon my dad was having his 3-hour Limbaugh lunches. After he ate, he would sit with a beer and listen to Limbaugh bloviate. Limbaugh must have said what organizations to join because soon my dad started getting lots of right-wing mail and then emails.
Okay, so Limbaugh made suggestions on right-wing pages to follow, and Dad followed those right-wing pages voluntarily, and somehow that's Limbaugh's fault?
I got the words, Brian. Thank you, Rush, for doing my thinking for me because I lacked the ability to think critically and independently. Yes, that.
This caused a lot of problems in the family. My dad became very opinionated and angry. Just say one thing that tripped him and he blew steam out his nose.
But this is only something that happens on the right, ladies and gentlemen. No left-wingers have ever consumed so much left-wing propaganda that they get triggered at the slightest opposing opinion.
So here we are in Exhale Vapor City in Tucker, Georgia, and I have just been asked to leave the store. I am looking forward to releasing this video because I just want to purchase something from the store.
Fuck off, dude! Fuck off! Get the fuck off in here, man! Fuck, man! Fucking stay fucking can't stand your racist motherfuckers.
Racist?
Yeah.
Sir,
Right?
I'm not a racist.
I got a fucker in my...
And you should have helped him first in the first place before you threw a temper tantrum, dipshit. He's standing here waiting for you to ring him up. How fucking...
Get
is
out!
that simple? Help your customer!
Fuck off! Fuck off!
He started forwarding us emails which were full of lies and exaggerations about President Clinton, or mostly how horrible Democrats were.
I'm calling bullshit. Old men can't forward emails. Do you know how many times we had to teach my grandfather to email pictures just to have him forget immediately?
I was living in New York, and when he sent emails saying that liberals hated Christmas, I was flabbergasted. I lived in the land of liberals, and everyone I knew loved Christmas.
Okay, a little off topic, but this is a pissing contest I'm absolutely sick of seeing, and it still happens today. If you get offended by someone greeting you with Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, or Happy whatever holiday I celebrate, then you're a fucking snowflake, period. Just be glad that someone was courteous enough to take time out of their day to greet you and wish you well. This goes for both the say Happy Holidays so you don't offend anyone crowd, and the it's Merry Christmas you satanic red Starbucks cup drinking heathen crowd.
I had a lot of gay friends after college. When my dad first met them, he praised them, saying how cultured they were and how it was nice I was friends with them. When I heard Limbaugh bashing gay people, I asked my father if he agreed with that now, and he got angry and said, "I don't want it in my face."
In the words of Sinatra says, press X to doubt. Like, it was this line that made me think either A, your father is too stupid to think for himself, or B, you're making shit up to fit your political agenda. One may even say, brainwashing people into thinking right-wingers are all just angry old men who hate everyone that's not them.
I'm too stupid to make up my own mind.
Wow, what happened to Dad? It was like some alien took over his body.
Nah, I'm maintaining that either your dad is too stupid to think for himself, or you're making all of this up. And to those that are thinking that I'm being too harsh with that statement, there's more to support that theory further ahead.
We all begged him to stop forwarding us these emails, but he wouldn't stop.
I will admit I can sympathize with this issue, however, the block button is a blessing in this type of situation.
First, my brothers blocked him online, then I eventually did.
See, what did I tell you?
It was a nightmare, and the nightmare got worse when a fellow Limbaugh fan introduced him to Fox News.
Fucking course they bring Fox News into this.
My parents ended up in separate bedrooms so that my dad could watch and listen to it. My mom ate lunch on her own in the living room. It really was tough.
Oh yeah, love how you classify right-wing media as hate radio.
And worst of all, my dad was miserable, angry, and paranoid. For a long while, it destroyed our family. Then, my parents moved to a senior community. During the move, my dad's radio broke, and he didn't fix it.
Lazy.
Later on, he went to the hospital for a kidney stone, and while he was there, my mom unsubscribed him from right-wing emails and subscribed him to sites like Truth Out and Alternet, and he read them all.
Oh yeah, Dad doesn't agree with us, so let's rig his emails and shit to sites that only we agree with. And I did take a look at these sites, and they seem to be the same type of propaganda she was complaining about her dad subscribing to, just from the left rather than the right.
And then when they got a new TV for the kitchen and my mom programmed the remote, he didn't bother to change the channel to Fox News.
Well, that's because he has to watch a fishing show that all old men watch.
One day, he told my mom, "I like Obama. I think he's a good guy." And she was like, "What?"
Yeah, I would have that same reaction.
And as time passed, his anger lifted and he became happier. My dad began to love me to visit because I would dote on him. I laughed at his corny jokes that he told over and over. He loved to be waited on, so I would get him tea.
So now that you agree politically, you'll visit him? Who's being the intolerant one here again?
I would give him the occasional chocolate, even though he wasn't supposed to have it. Finally, in his very senior years, he was at peace. My parents shared a bedroom again, and I had my dad back.
Yay! Dad agrees with me so I can acknowledge his existence again. Yay! Well, I'm sure your documentary is gonna be shit. And I love how this is all specific to right-wing media, but you're going to completely ignore how the left-wing media does the exact same fucking thing you accuse right-wing media of doing. So let's review this right quick. Dad starts listening to conservative radio and has conservative ideas, and then later when he's subscribed to left-wing ideas by his family interfering with his emails, he becomes left-wing. I have a feeling that your dad was incapable of making up his own mind and just regurgitated whatever bullshit politics he was listening to at the time. And then when you couldn't tolerate him having an opposing view to your own, y'all exploited the fact that he was easily manipulated by media to turn him back to your own side. And that's assuming the story is even true, which I have serious doubts about a lot of it, due to the fact that your claims of Dad being right-wing are just him saying stereotypical right-wing things. Now, I don't care what your political ideology is. If you shun family for having a differing opinion, you're just a shitty person. I do make an exception when they're being an incredible nuisance about their opinions and refuse to stop when confronted about it. Trust me, I've dealt with it myself. But this woman's story doesn't seem to be genuine, hence why I called it out. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and share it on social media to spread my own right-wing brainwashing. If you're new to the channel, you have to subscribe due to the fact that I brainwashed you into doing it, and you will come to my next video to witness more brainwashing. Catch y'all later.